You don't want to miss this fight.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Sunmid.
Hey, Costello. Great winning your last fight after about 18 months off. How important do you think it is for you to continue that momentum at middleweight?
How important it is for me to continue on the middleweight, you mean?
Yeah, your momentum after that last win.
Oh, okay. No, that was really, for me, it was something really big, because loads of people were doubting me. Of course, 2 years out of the game is like, people were like, nah, he's done, he's there, he's only doing that, he's this. But not even only people that I didn't know, but even close ones, And then that's when you realize, hey, you can only trust, you only got like 3 or 4, maybe 5 people that got your back for all of this game. But man, this was really important for me. I could prove myself. The first round was a little bit, of course, 2 years out, I was getting nervous myself as people were saying to me, hey, I was hearing from other people, hey, you're not going to make it. And I was like, fuck you, I'm going to prove you guys I'm going to make it. I'm going to smash him, then I'm going to smash the next one, and I'm going to get the belt and laugh laugh at everybody.
Nice. And we know we talked about the rankings. I don't believe the rankings reflects your ability at middleweight. But what is your roadmap to title contention?
My roadmap is, hopefully I can put a very good performance that everybody will be with their eyes wide open. So they say, oh man, this guy should be the next one in line fighting for the middleweight division, middleweight strap. Like what you say, styles make fight. I think I've got the perfect style to fight Johnny Eblen now. But yeah, first I got to prove myself with Douglas Lima. And we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll have to fight 1-2 people more. It also depends on Gegard, See how long he's in the game. I'm going to respect Gegard. He's the man. And he decides what he wants. And then I get second pick. And if he decides to fight somebody else, then I'm jumping into the first spot.
Nice. We know you like to bring the violence, Costello. All the best on Friday.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Just a quick announcement. We're going to go straight to Tim Wilde.
Over there.
Santiago.
Hi, Tim. Thank you for the time as always. How did your camp go at Team Renegade? And is Leon going to be there on fight night to support yourself and Fabian?
Hi guys. Yeah, the camp went very well, thank you. The work that we're putting in at Renegade is unmatched, I believe. And yeah, Leon will be there cornering me. I'm lucky to have him as my head corner, and he'll be doing his brother as well. So yeah, we've got a great little team over at Renegade.
Can you talk a little bit more about your camp and the energy in the gym? Because Leon, of course, brought the belt there, defended the belt there. I mean, the gym is probably at an all-time high, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The energy in the gym is unreal. Like, you know, with him defending it as well now, solidifying his spot as the king of the welterweights, the best in the world, potentially best welterweight in the world. It really brings a big energy to the gym. You know, we all kind of feed off of that energy. We all work, us high level pros all work together to build each other, and yeah, it just helps with our performances ourselves as well. You know, so we're very lucky to have him train with us, mentor us, and coach us and guide us.
What do you make of Chris as an opponent? I mean, he only lost to the very elite competition in this division, and he seems to be in exciting fights always. He also was previously ranked. Did all of this motivate you a lot to fight him?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know he was ranked previously, but that's interesting to know. I obviously knew he's up there ranked. He's a highly touted fighter. Bellator like him. Yeah, his losses have been to high level guys. I think he's 8-2, so he's had 10 fights. Nurmagomedov was one loss, and Yamaguchi was a loss again. Yeah, and they're both very, very. They're veterans of the sport, and I know obviously Nurmagomedov is like young, and he's the champion, you know, and he tried the team that he comes from. So Chris, he's an exciting fighter, you know. He's an exceptional athlete. He's achieved a lot in his wrestling, but this is MMA, and you know I'm excited to step in there with him, and no doubt he is with me because, as everyone knows, I'm always in an exciting fight too.
Exactly, and it's been 4 years since Bellator visited Birmingham, and that show was absolutely magnificent and a big success for the city of Birmingham. And with all the success Team Renegade has right now, do you think, Tim, a return to Birmingham is inevitable?
I think so. I think, you know, just me and Fabian alone, with Fabian on his trajectory, when he gets a win Friday night, maybe when he wins that belt at the end of the year, he can defend it first time in Birmingham. I like to think that a big win for me Friday night will push me into the top 10. I don't wish injury on anyone, but I'm ready to step into the tournament if anybody gets injured. So, I think like Birmingham, as you said, with the hype around Birmingham and UK MMA, why not? I'm sure Bellator will definitely be up for the idea.
Always nice to talk to you, Tim. Cannot wait to see you perform again. Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you.
Sunmid.
Yes, Tim. It's good to talk to you, sir. Hard fight victory against Saul last October. It was a great performance by yourself. Is there been anything in particular that you've been working on for this fight?
Hi, mate. So thank you for that. Yeah, it was probably my best performance today against a serious competitor in Saul. You know, to be honest, I took a couple of weeks off after that fight. Got a little cut up. You know, it was a hard fight. rested, and then I just got back to work with the team. You know, went out to Thailand for some training, come back. Leon and Jai Herbert were in camp. I was with them. Arnold Allen was in camp. I was with them. You know, we're all just working really hard down at Team Renegade. We've got amazing coaches and training partners around us. Like, I really do think we're doing it the best in UK, if not Europe. And yeah, the as regards to the camp, it hasn't really changed too much. It's similar in ways to Saul, you know, and I'll just be looking to build off of the back of that performance.
Nice, and my colleague actually caught you at UFC 286 outside the arena. But it's good that you guys in Team Renegade look after one another. Are you going to be putting in work as well for Jai's upcoming performance in UFC in June?
Yeah, that's it. You know, I don't like to look past the fight because, you know, you can pick up injuries and stuff. That's natural. But yeah, Jai will want me to work with him, no doubt, for July. But our weight categories, you know, like featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, it's just stacked. The gym is just full of bodies, high level, all shapes and sizes, all different backgrounds. And yeah, we've all got the same mindset. It's just in every day, work hard, but work smart, you know. We don't hurt each other. We just build each other.
Nice. We've seen on your socials as well, you've introduced the Tim Wilde's thoughts for the day. We've thoroughly enjoyed that, by the way. Does that show a change in your mentality? You maybe taking a step back and really mulling over things, mulling how your day's gone, or how's that impacted you?
Yeah, you know, like, thanks for noticing that, and thanks for liking it. A lot of people are liking it, actually. Weirdly, it was a shout out to the missus. It was an idea from her. She was like, "Yeah, just because." You know, I'm a little bit older, as we know. I'm 36 this year. This social media kind of age, I'm a little bit behind that. I call myself a dinosaur. I know I'm not. There's people, you know, worse. But anyway, she said, like, you should start putting your morning thoughts on, and I did, and it took off. People are enjoying it. But yeah, you know, like I'm a deep thinker. I have a lot of time reflecting, a lot of time studying fights, a lot of time studying myself and thinking about myself. I think that just comes with age anyway. But I'm just not very good at portraying it across on social media. So I just let my fighting do the talking. You know, I'm not one here to start bad-mouthing fighters or trying, you know, doing things for likes. I just get in there, I fight hard, I fight entertaining, and I'm always exciting. And I hope that'll just give me the kind of push that I need to get me in top 10 and get me to somewhere where I can earn a shot at the title.
Nice. And how do you visualize this fight going? What's your prediction?
I think the first round is going to determine the way the fight goes. I think he's going to try and come out hard and strong. I think he's going to struggle with my striking and my kind of footwork and the way I move. I think he perhaps will think he knows how I do, but then, like, I see with everyone when they get in there, I'm very hard to imitate. I move different, and I think he'll perhaps try to strike with me for the first round. I mean, he might try an entry or a takedown if he can in the first, but I think following that, I would see him look to perhaps naturally go back to his instincts to wrestle a bit more, where I'm going to shut that down as well. So he's tough. He's very tough. He has been stopped before, but so, you know, everybody gets stopped, but he's tough. He's a competitor. He's an athlete, and he's going to come to win. So it could potentially go the distance, but regardless of whether it goes the distance, or it's stopped, it'll be my hand that's being raised.
Nice. And then the last one from me, Tim, obviously you're unbeaten in 4 now, but does it feel good not fighting another Englishman?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people in the Bellator lightweight division that aren't English. I'd rather fight those guys, you know what I mean? Since Saul yesterday was training with him, it's nice to talk to him and not have to, like, hate him in my head mentally to fight him, do you know what I mean? So, I think, like, I truly believe I'm leading from the front with the English guys, you know. I'm number 1 in England, I am. I want to be number 1 in Europe, and I'm going to keep pushing. So for me, give me the Europeans and give me the Americans and let me show what I can do. push myself up them rankings.
Cheers to all the best for Friday.
Thanks a lot, man.
All done?
Thank you very much.
Santiago.
Bonjour, Thibault. Thank you for the time. You already fought for Bellator in Paris, but will it still feel good for you to make that walk to the cage in front of your own home crowd?
Yes. So what's going on? That's you talking?
No, I'm virtually
Yeah.
digital.
Yeah. I'm very happy to come back over here in Paris, especially because it's my country first, and it's a beautiful event. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Kane Mousah is someone who doesn't shy away from a firefight. The same goes for you, Thibault. Do you have a feeling that this fight of yours is going to be the fight of the night when it comes to the action and the pace?
I mean, I already looked to make the fight of the night, but if I could win easily, it would be better. But it's always hard. There is never an easy fight. You always have to fight. He seems to be a very good fighter, like he's a good striker. He has some good wrestling, so it's again probably be a war. And I'm a little bit disappointed in this, but because I wanted an easy fight, but I know I have to go through this, and the victory is even better when you go through a war. So I'm ready.
You are opening the main card. What was your first reaction when you heard this? Were you excited about it?
I was excited about it, and also I was very happy because that's mean the Bellator and people from France give me a lot of credit, and I have to give them back this this feeling of trusting me. So I will do my best to show them that I deserve this place, and I will make it work.
You fought at lightweight and welterweight during your MMA career, and you beat Lewis Long in a welterweight fight last year. Do you like fighting at welterweight, or is lightweight your base for now?
I so the thing is, I used to fight for a company before, and then I was fighting at 155, and then I didn't want to make the weight cut again. I wanted to feel better in the fight week, so I started to fight at 165 probably, yeah, 165, and then they proposed me for Lewis Long at 170, and I said yes, but I could really feel the difference in power and in physique, and he ended up him breaking my arms. So there is a difference, but I like it too. I was faster, and it was a good fight.
When released by the UFC, Bellator didn't sign you straight away, but after a couple of fights, they did sign you. What was your reaction when you heard that Bellator was interested in your services?
Honestly, without being cocky or anything, I think I got my respect outside of the UFC after I get removed. So I fought a bunch of fighters like Mehdi Baghdad. He was in UFC. I fought Abdul Loveras, and I all beat this guy in the first round by KO. So I think I deserve my shot, and I'm very happy that Bellator chose me to be in their company because I like it very much.
Thibault, I'm not sure if you caught this, but Bellator president Scott Coker said that he next year wants to expand in France and host shows in multiple cities. You are from Toulouse, right? Is this a good city for Bellator to visit in the future?
So it's a very good city because Toulouse is a big city, but I would say that, and that's not against Toulousain. That's all we call them in France, Toulousain. That's not against them, but I live now from almost 15 years close to Marseille in Aix-en-Provence. It's the name of the city where I live. And it will probably be more interesting for a company like Bellator to come from Paris to Marseille, because this is the second biggest city in France. And they have in soccer, for example, they have these things called the Classico, where they do Marseille against Paris, PSG against OM. And it could be the same to see how many numbers they do. And also the crowd is not the same, you know. The crowd in Marseille is wild. They are wild people. They have the blood is warm over there.
Sounds like a good place. Thibault, I cannot wait to see you perform again. Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sunmade?
Hi, Thibault. Good to see you, obviously fighting in your home country of France. Do you feel any extra pressure opening the card here in France?
I already opened card in other country, and yeah, there is pressure. There is always pressure because this is a fight and you have to win. That's the pressure that I have, and I also want to represent my country. So yes, that's we could say there is a lot of pressure. Yeah.
Nice. And we know Kane is, he's a really tough and skillful fighter, but is there anything specific that you have been doing in training for this fight?
And if I say not really, people are going to say, I did this and that. It doesn't take seriously. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I trained some stuff, and I was trying to put a game plan in place to try to fill my gap and to counter him on what he does. Yeah, so I did train and I did.
Nice. And how important is it for you to get back in the win column on Friday?
I have to get in the win back column because this is MMA. That's not soccer or a sport like that. You can lose 1, 2, 3, 4 times, nobody cares. But here, if you lose 2 times in a row, you're already on the exit. So I must win. I must win.
Right, and talking about soccer, who is the better Thibault? Thibault Gouti or Thibault Courtois?
In soccer, you mean?
Yes.
But he's a goalkeeper. I would probably be a middle field, so it would be hard to. But he's probably better than me, of course.
Last question from me. What's your prediction for this fight?
My prediction for this fight is I will win. I don't know the manners, but I know I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna win. So I'm gonna have to find a way to win, either striking, wrestling, or being smarter. But I will win. Yeah, I have to.
All the best on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We will be joined by Mansour Barnaoui shortly. Please raise your hand if you have a question. Santiago.
Salam alaikum, Mansour. Thank you for the time. When did you hear about the opponent change? And did you had to change a lot of things in your preparation for this fight with a new opponent?
Et donc, première question, c'est et il te demande à quel moment tu as entendu parler du changement d'adversaire et est-ce que ça change quelque chose?
Alaikum salam. J'ai entendu le changement de mon adversaire un mois avant, je pense. Ouais, un mois et demi. Et non, je pense que mon ancien, c'est un lutteur. Lui, c'est un jiu-jitsuka. Et ça change un petit peu, mais pas grand-chose.
So he says hello, alaikum salam, like he said. And so he heard about it a month and a half before. Didn't change really in the preparation styles, even if they have two different fighting styles. But yeah, still a new opponent and still something he didn't change anything in his preparation for, but he's looking for it.
Is this your first time fighting in France, or did you fight in France before in your 24 fight career?
C'est la première fois en France. Tu as déjà combattu en France.
Parmi les 24 combats, non, c'est pas la première fois. C'est la première fois que je combats au MMA. Avant, c'était le pancras. Les règles différentes.
So it's not the first time, even though it's the first time in the MMA tournament. Before it was in a different league. So yeah.
Did you watch Brent Primus his last fight? And what did you make of that performance against Chablis?
Que tu as regardé Bras, ton adversaire d'avant? Tu as regardé sa performance? Est-ce que tu as regardé les autres combats de Chablis?
Non.
Après, parce que tu as vu le combat de Bras.
Oui, j'ai regardé un combat de Brad, voir à peu près son style. Il avait perdu et voilà.
So he did watch some Brad matches, and especially one where he looked really into his fighting styles, and so he tried to adapt into preparation, but you would see whenever he's facing him.
After your last fight, a lot of people who didn't know a lot about you suddenly woke up and they saw how destructive you are on the ground. Did you notice this in your life, that more people started to give you credits as the absolute dark horse to win the whole tournament?
Est-ce que tu l'as ressenti?
J'ai pas fait attention à ça. Moi, je fais mes combats et après, je reviens avec mon équipe et j'essaie de m'éloigner un peu de tout ça pour pas me prendre l'esprit, quoi.
So he's a fighter and he's fighting and then he goes back with his team and he's not really trying to let the media into his mind and whatever happens on the social media. So he's really fighting and focused on the fighting. So whatever happens and whatever people say, he makes everything for it not to impact his head.
That's a good idea. And against Pekaladi, you were taken down, Mansour, but then you reversed the position and you ended up on top. It was a beautiful technique. Is this like one of your favorite techniques to do?
Je pose pas compris la question. Combat politique et où tu as retourné la situation vraiment. Est-ce que c'est une des choses que tu aimes faire ou c'est vraiment le top du top, on va dire, non? Est-ce que c'est
Oui, c'est des choses que j'aime faire. C'est ma façon de faire pour arriver à faire ce que j'ai envie de faire.
So it's something he does. It's part of his styles. It's part of his fighting technique. And let's say whenever the situation is gonna present, he's gonna do it for sure. But we'd see if he would see if the occasion presents, as he says, it's part of his fighting style.
This will be your second fight in Bellator, and it's another one in Europe. The company has been investing a lot here in Europe. Do you like the work that Bellator has been doing here? And was that a big reason for you to sign with the company?
Bellator. Si Bellator investit énormément en Europe, est-ce que c'est quelque chose qui t'a poussé à aller avec eux dans ce tournoi ou...
Oui, c'était quelque chose qui m'avait poussé à m'engager avec eux. En plus de ça, il y avait le tournoi. En plus de ça, la ceinture. Et il y avait le combo pour s'engager avec eux.
So it's one of the arguments that makes him sign with Bellator. Among other things, obviously there's the tournament, and there's also the belt and the titles. It's a whole package, but that was one of the main reasons he decided to move on for Bellator.
You already have experience in a tournament as you won the Road FC tournament with some high-class performances. Does this experience help you in this new tournament at Bellator? Do you think you have an advantage over Brent Primus in that?
Déjà gagné des tournois en FC. Est-ce que ton expérience vis-à-vis des combattants qui étaient expérimentés, etc., peut-être dans ce tournoi, est-ce que
je pense que tous les anciens combats que j'ai eus, ça m'a donné l'expérience pour être ce que je suis maintenant et à faire ce qu'il y a à faire pour les prochaines années.
So obviously it helped him a lot, and but as he said, every fight is something new. Even the more fight you have, the more experience you gain, and the more you can adapt to any situation. So obviously it helped him a lot. We'll see in the future whoever he faces.
Mansour, in this tournament format, we already can see who is going to fight for the title next. And if you win, it will be you, of course. Does this bring extra motivation for you on fight night? And did you expect to be possibly fighting for the world title in just your third fight in Bellator?
Pas mal de favoris pour le titre. Gagne ce combat. Est-ce que ça te donne une motivation supplémentaire à gagner ce combat? Est-ce que c'est vraiment quelque chose où tu te dis, dès mon troisième combat, c'est vraiment pour le titre? Est-ce que c'est quelque chose que ça
Oui, ça me motive un petit peu et moi, je fais étape par étape. Je prends ce combat-là jusqu'à notre combat, jusqu'à affronter le plus fort et gagner tous les titres.
So it's the motivation is there, especially for the third combat, and but yeah, he's looking to win more and more and more. So obviously, facing the title at the third matches in Bellator is something really nice and appreciated.
Jay?
Thanks very much. And Mansour, just to build off one of the previous questions, when we talk about your experience in tournaments, does being in a tournament change anything in how you prepare? Because, of course, you have to be concerned about getting injured and being out for long stretches of time, which would knock you out of the tournament. So does anything change in training camp when you prepare for these fights?
Là, on parle de préparation, choses à prendre, blessé, plusieurs combats à la suite. Est-ce que ça change quelque chose dans ta préparation? Est-ce que tu y vas?
Non, ça change pas grand-chose. On fait juste attention à mon adversaire par rapport à son style de combat. C'est ça qui change. Sinon, On fait attention aux blessures, bien sûr, c'est un tournoi. Et sinon, non, ça change pas grand-chose.
So regarding the preparation, it doesn't change much. Obviously, as you said, you have to adapt quickly to the different styles of fighting of the opponent. So it's a tournament, so there are lots of opponents and different fighting techniques. So you have to adapt to that, obviously. You always obviously try not to get injured because that would be a problem. And but regarding the preparation of every match, it stays the same and keeps the focus.
All right. And, the switch in opponents here from Sydney Outlaw to Brent Primus, obviously this is a big fight. There's a title shot on the line. There is, the tournament, of course. But does this have more meaning to you fighting a former champion? And, could it do potentially more for your career to get a win over an ex-champ like Brent?
Il va combattre un ancien champion. Ça prend en considération que ça risque de quitter ta carrière, de changer pas mal de choses dans ton environnement. Ancien champion.
Ouais, je suis plutôt sur le ancien champion ou pas. On y va. Et il a été champion, donc on va prendre à la légère. Je ne sous-estime pas. Et on va prendre toutes les forces, zéro risque et pour le battre.
So, being an ex-champion obviously has his part, but it's a new combat, it's a new fight, and he's gonna be careful. He's gonna look after everything, but he's also a fighter, so he has the mindset of wanting to win every fight.
Et le fait que ce soit un ancien champion, ça m'excite encore plus.
But he's really excited by the fact that it's a next world champion, so he really wants to face him.
Oh, good stuff. Looking forward to it. Best of luck in the fight.
Te souhaite bonne chance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mills.
Hey, how's it going? MMA Locker Room, part of Pub Sports Radio. Just wanted to ask you a few questions. So for the people out there that wanted to hear how you define your style in a few words, how would you define your actual fighting style? Because I compare it to like a dinosaur, but like a velociraptor. Because once it seems like you get your opponent down on the ground, they're never coming up.
Je te demande par rapport à ton style de combat, comment tu le définirais? Lui, si tu dois comparer un dinosaure, il comparerait plutôt à un velociraptor. En disant que voilà, tu plaques l'ennemi au sol, et une fois qu'il est au sol, tu le laisses plus se relever.
Je le vois juste comme un simple homme. Et moi, je suis là pour le détruire.
So, regarding the fighting style, he says he fights like a man, not really like a dinosaur, but even if the approach stays the same way, he really wants to destroy literally his opponent and win over him.
Sunmade.
Hey man, so you're on a roll at the moment. 8-fight win streak. It was a fantastic debut last October. With the thought that that if you win this Friday, you'll be fighting Usman in the semis, are you quite annoyed that actually you don't get to see him in the final? Because I think that could definitely be a final matchup in the Grand Prix.
Voilà, compliment pour ta série de victoires de suite. Ça arrive à gagner ce match. Tu es quand même déçu que le combat pour la ceinture se passe pas là.
Peu importe, moi, on me présente un adversaire devant moi, je vais l'affronter. Après, mon but, c'est d'affronter les champions pour être le champion.
So, thanks a lot for congratulating him. And but yeah, like he said, he wants to fight. Whenever he has an opponent, he's going to fight him. If it's the champion, it's even better. And obviously, if he can win against every champion he faces, that's even better. And if he can win every title, that would be even better.
We will be joined by Davey Gallon. Please raise your hand if you have a question. Santiago.
Hi, Duffy. Thank you for the time as always. I know that you fought in Paris before, but does it still feel special to make that walk to the cage in front of the fanatic French crowd?
Hi, Santiago. Nice to hear you. Yeah. It's really cool to fight in my hometown. Not really my hometown, but in my, in France. So yes, it's always electrifying. Everywhere I fight, everywhere I fought, there is a lot of energy. But like you say, the fanatic French fan and the fanatic Norman fan give me so much energy. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you're looking great spirit. And what did you make of Saul, his last fight against Tim Wilde? And did you use the footage of that fight for your own preparation?
Yes, I watch some fights of Saul, and I watch some footage because I don't have all the fight. I don't need to see all the fight, only to see the moment in the fight where there is all in his game. So I watch old fight, I watch footage of Tim Wilde fight, and I find some holes, and I hope I will get in this all on the fight night.
So you were on this amazing streak before losing a close fight to Scatisi. Did you change anything in your training or weight cut or approach to a fight after that close loss?
I didn't change everything because like you say, it was a close decision for Daniele, and I felt good physically. I have only the weight cut was really cool too. It was only on sparring, because in France I'm in a small town and we don't have a lot of pros. So sometime for the sparring to have good sparring, technical sparring, and positional sparring, it's a little bit hard. So we didn't change everything. I only go to SBG island air to try to, how can I say, to learn some new stuff and cage control stuff, because that's the stuff that I missed in the Daniele Scatisi fight.
So did you work with John Kavanagh? Was that, he's at SBG, right? Did you work with him or did you work with some of the other guys?
Yeah. I work with John. I work with Dave Roche and Rage, all the coach of SBG, and all the fighter like Azael, which a French fighter who fight for SBG. And I train with Daniele because Daniele trained
in SBG2 to fix my game, and all the fighters of SBG who fight internationally. So it was pretty cool, and I feel really great right now, and I can take Saul Rogers.
Yeah, I spoke to Asael a couple of times. Just like you, he's such a nice guy. But Daffy, I'm not sure if you caught this, but the president, Scott Coker, said that he wants to expand into France and perhaps do shows in multiple different cities. You are from Caen or Cayenne, right? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But do you think your city could potentially host a Bellator event in the future?
So yes, like you say, it's Caen. So well done for the pronunciation. So sometimes it's not that easy. And yes, of course, we have a new big arena. We can host some Bellator events. So if Scott Cooker, the president, my president or president, want to make an event in Caen, of course, it will be so much welcome by the fan, and everybody gonna see this big event in Caen.
Always nice to talk to you, Duffy. Cannot wait to see you perform again. Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you so much, and see you soon.
We will be joined by Chris Gonzalez next. Please raise your hand if you have a question. Santiago.
Hi, Chris. Thank you for the time. Is this your first time fighting in Europe? And would you like to come out more often to this side of the ocean in the future?
Yeah, this is my first time on here in Paris. It's been a great experience so far, and definitely open to coming back in the future for sure.
You only lost to elite competition. Does that experience against them help you to, make you a better and more aware fighter?
Oh, absolutely. I've been competing against the best in the world for quite some time now, and just going up against the best and competing with the best, just gives you a good idea of where you are and where you stand, and just reassures you that you belong at the top, and it definitely prepares you for any other opponents or situations along the way.
Did you watch Tim his last fight against Saul, and what did you make of Tim's performance?
Yeah, no, I've done my fair share of homework on Tim, as I do on all of my opponents. His performance with Saul, I can't really say I was overly impressed. From my perspective, I took more out of it that Saul just kind of had a shit game plan, in my opinion. And I say that as respectfully as I can. I think Saul just had a bad day. And I don't want to take anything away from Tim. I think that he's it's pretty obvious he's a volume guy. He comes on, stronger later in rounds. He's not in there trying to put you away or finish you, or anything like that. So he seems to do better in the later rounds. And I think, Saul jumping on that Peruvian necktie time and time again, he kind of just burnt his arms out, and it played right into Tim's hand.
Yeah, it was a close fight, split decision. So hearing you talk, did you score it for Saul?
No, definitely not. I think Tim got the W. I think Saul is more than capable of winning that fight if he would have just been a little bit better at adapting in game and making those adjustments in the middle of the fight. I think sometimes you can go into a fight with a game plan, and if you're stubborn with it, it can cost you a decision. And I think that's what happened there.
So how did your camp go? How was your preparation for this fight against Tim? And do you have to change things up when you have to travel to Europe, or doesn't that play any factor?
Yeah, I had a great camp. I train all year round. It's not like I'm one of those guys who just hops into a training camp once I get a fight. I'm always training. I stay training, so that way when I do get a fight, it's not about getting in shape in preparation for the fight. I'm already in shape, so I'm going into it. My cardio's on point, my strength's on point, my recovery's on point. So at that point, it's just scouting my opponent, coming up with a game plan, trying to find the path of least resistance, and just taking it from there. As far as if I had to do anything different, because I'm fighting on the other side of the world, not really. Trying to catch up with the sleeps a little bit different. Making sure that you're timing the sleeping on the plane, not sleeping too early, just trying to get into a rhythm's a bit of an adjustment, but it's a nice challenge that I embrace, and it's going well.
You fought twice a year, every year since Bellator signed you in 2019. And are you happy to be with the company? And are you happy with how they are scheduling you for fights?
Yeah, Bellator's been great. Obviously, when I first signed with them, shortly thereafter, we had the pandemic. So that threw a wrench in everyone's plans, myself included. But yeah, I'm happy. Fighting twice a year isn't ideal for me. I'd like to be a lot more active than that. So in my latest renegotiation with the company, I negotiated that I get offered more fights per year. That way I at least have an opportunity or an option to stay a little bit more active.
Sounds like a good plan. And so are you saying that you most recently signed a new contract, Chris?
So it would have been 2 fights ago. I signed it right before the fight with Usman. So I believe this will be my 3rd fight on the 4-fight deal.
And you're happy, like you just said. So are you looking to extend even after that last contract that you signed?
Yeah, I'm not really looking past Friday right now. I'm just focused on the task at hand. Like I said, I'm super happy with the company. Every time we've gone to the negotiating table, they've been open-minded, as have I, and we've made something happen. So I'll always go into renegotiations with good faith and show the same, respect, love, and loyalty that I'm being reciprocated. So as long as it makes dollars, it makes sense for me.
Jay?
Thanks very much. Hey, Chris, you mentioned the Usman fight a moment ago, and I'm just wondering what you took away from that fight. It is the last loss on your record, and what you've thought of, his title run so far.
Yeah, he's been nothing short of impressive. I got to tip my hat to the man. I think that, he capitalized and he caught me early in that fight with that very slick submission. I didn't respect it at first, and he really bladed his arm in there, and he locked it up good. So I don't want to take anything away from him. I think he's been a dominant champion up until this point. I'm looking forward to having another crack at it in the future.
And you mentioned, of course, this being your first time to Paris. I know you've got a big fight on the horizon, but it is Paris. I got over there recently myself for the first time. Are you going to have a chance to check out some of the sites, enjoy it a little?
Yeah, I've made a little bit of time already just to kind of get out in the town and walk around. get the blood flowing. When I first got in on, I think it was Monday, I believe, I got a few mile got to see the cathedral and some of the state buildings and architecture. And then just earlier today, actually, I went and checked out the Eiffel Tower and got to see that too, which was really beautiful and just really nice to see. So so far everything's been a great experience.
Well, that's good to hear. Does doing that kind of thing kind of take your mind off the fight a little? Is that beneficial to you?
Yeah, obviously I'm focused on the fight and that's, where my thought process is going to be at, more often than not. But, it's nice to get out of the hotel room and, just see the world. And especially being in the States, it's so different out here. The culture's different. The pace is different. The lifestyle is different. So it's refreshing to come out here and see how people across the world are living too.
Good stuff. Well, enjoy it. Best of luck in the fight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sunmate.
Hey, Chris. We know you've got obviously a background in wrestling, but as of late, your wins have come by, punches. What's been the change really in your training or the mindset to start finishing fights?
Yeah, I wouldn't really say that there's been any change in my training. I think that, preparation just leads to newfound confidence. And the longer I train, the more confident I am in, the tools that, that I'm mastering. So wrestling's always gonna be my, the ace in my hand. But I can't neglect all the other areas. It is mixed martial arts, so I want to be able to mix it up and present just as much of a threat in all of the other respective disciplines as well.
Nice. And the last question for me, a lot's been said about the camp that Tim has been from, which is Team Renegade in Birmingham, who are, making a lot of waves in the UK MMA scene. But for yourself as well, you've been training for some real champions, the likes of Uriah, Sage Northcutt. What do you think the training and training partners have given you ahead of this fight?
Yeah, I mean, they just give me the same quality looks that I get in the cage every time I step in there. I'm always seeking out, the best fights, the best training partners. So to be able to train with, people who have the same mindset as me and, they come in there to compete and, win every second of every bit of training that you're getting, it just creates that competitive atmosphere, which only prepares you more when you step in the cage and the lights.
Mills.
Hey, how's it going, Chris? MMA Locker Room, part of Pub Sports Radio.
What's going on, my man?
Nothing much. Just a few quick questions for you. Training with Team Alpha Male and seeing that they've been on the rise lately, with Yang Junan getting the win, with Song Yudong getting the win. How is the camp and the confidence been related to your training camp?
Yeah, I'm in the gym day in and day out grinding with, all of these high level guys and girls. So, to have them just kind of go back to back and, get really big wins on really big stages, it's incredibly motivating. And, it just shows that we're doing the right things at the gym and, that we can compete with everyone anywhere at any point, at any time. So, I'm feeling really prepared.
All right. And then also, too, looking at the shirt, man, coming out with the Fedor short, any reason for wearing that one today?
Yeah, man, every day I'm just trying to be legendary. So whether it's rocking, the last Emperor shirt or getting a chance to, catch it and take a picture with, the Gracies or anything like that. I looked up to these guys all my life. I still look up to these guys. They laid the foundation for, MMA today. So just showing them the respect that they deserve.
Got it. And last one for me. I mean, looking at the card, it's only two fighters from the United States on there. Bellator has an event coming up in Chicago, and you're on this card. I know you would have loved to fight in your hometown, Chicago, but how you gonna represent for the United States on this card?
Yeah, man, I'm just gonna go out there and do what Americans do, which is come out, be aggressive and try to get that dub, whether I'm on, U.S. soil or I'm overseas. My mindset's always the same. I'm here to win. So I'm planning on going out there and getting the job done and getting my hand raised.
We'll be joined by Kane Mousah. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. We will be joined by Fabian Edwards next. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. Santiago.
Hi, Fabian. Thank you for the time.
What up? How you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. Wouldn't mind some food, but I'm doing good.
You fought against one of Mousasi's teammates, Van Steenis, and it was a close fight in which you had some very successful moments. Are Mousasi and Van Steenis, their styles somewhat similar? Do you see some things that they both tend to do?
Yeah, I believe they're very similar, you know, and yeah, I've grown a lot from that fight.
Is Leon going to be with you on Fight Night, Fabian? And did Leon help you out a lot with this training camp at Team Renegade?
Yeah, Leon's and yeah, Leon always help. You know, for this camp, obviously I've had the same coaches around, and yeah, everyone's pulled together, and we've had a good game plan and a good training camp for this.
After the Machida fight, you told the media that Bellator wants you to win 2 more fights and then it will be a title shot. And now it's just 1 more left, Fabian. Did you like it that Bellator was transparent with you on how they want, you know, to get you to this title fight and that they kept their word?
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, it's always good to know like your path, you know, rather than just fighting random fights. And Bellator gave me the path, and I'm on the way to collecting that.
So Johnny Ablin was at the press conference. What did you make of his energy? Because he was like, you know, jabbing a little bit at you and Mousasi. Well, what did you make of his energy?
Nah, I didn't make nothing, because when I see him around the hotel, he doesn't say nothing. You know, he doesn't really look at me, so I don't really make for a call off his energy.
So you stared off against Mousasi, and, you know, it was quite a tense stare down. You kept looking at him while he turned around. What was that about? Were you like focused in on him?
I'm just letting him know that I'm here. You know what I mean? And yeah, letting him know that I'm here, and I'm not here to, you know what I mean? I don't fear him one bit. I don't fear him one little bit.
I asked the same thing to Tim Wilde earlier, but with all the momentum Team Renegade has right now, Fabian, you know, do you think Bellator, it's inevitable that Bellator is going to return to Birmingham? Because the first time that they were there, it was a massive show, man, Fabian.
Yeah, no, for definite. For definite. Birmingham building a lot of talent, so after I win this fight, I will be shouting for a Birmingham show, and let's hope Bellator bless me, you know.
I will be there on Friday, Fabian. Cannot wait to see you perform again. Good luck on Fight Night, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dylan?
Fabian, how was the training camp, and who were you able to work with and get reps with preparing for Mousasi?
My training camp's been good. You know, I've just kept to my teammates. It's been a lot of focus on what I need to do and developing me more so, and making sure I'm fit, making sure I'm ready. And yeah, that's been the main focus.
Thank you. See you at Fight Night.
Thank you.
Sunmate?
Yes, Fabian, my brother, less than 2 days away now. 1 more step before the title shot. How are the emotions coming into this fight?
Calm, you know, very, very calm, honestly. Yeah, super calm, considering obviously it's a main event and the magnitude of this fight. But I'm calm. But I think it's just the work that I've done, you know.
Nice. And that was going to be my next question, because you come across extremely focused. You know, you look very, very locked in your press conference yesterday and on your socials. And that's down to the preparation that you've done. Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah, I know everyone says, oh, yeah, it's been the best camp and all of that. But I've had a great camp, and my weight's good, you know. I eating jelly beans and shit. Yes, you know, I'm in good shape. I ain't suffering, you know. And that's it. And that's down to the preparation over the last 8 to 10 weeks.
Nice. And in your last fight against Charlie, he was crazy tough, to be honest. I was surprised he stayed in there until the final bell. Are we going to see the same violence that we saw in the Machida fight? What you got chefed up for this Friday?
Yeah, definitely. It's always violence when I'm in there. Smart, calculated, but it's always violence. And whether or not when I get Mousasi in those positions, if he's willing to sustain those damage I'm putting him, but we'll see. But I'm gonna bring that violence.
Yes, and last question from me. Do you see anything specific in Mousasi's game that you can exploit?
I see a lot, I see a lot, and yeah, me and my team see a lot of holes that we can exploit. And Friday night, that's the beauty of this game, because Friday night you get a chance to do it. You know what I mean? Like, no more talking. You can all say whatever you want to say, but we really get a chance to go in there, a pair of gloves, gum shield, a cup, some shorts, and yeah, we got a chance to really do it.
Jay?
Thanks very much. And Fabian, when we talk about combat sports history, siblings fighting from the Klitschko brothers to the Diaz brothers in MMA have always been a big thing. Just how much of a motivator is it to bring a title home to the family, to have both you and Leon as reigning champs in two major promotions?
Big motivating factor. It's huge, like I'm trying to make that history, and that's it. I'm trying to make that history. And like I say, I'm 2 steps away from it. Friday night, after I do my job, I'll be 1 step closer, and yeah, I'm locked in for it.
If you do bring that belt home, are you and Leon the best fighting siblings in MMA history?
Yeah, when I bring it home, definite. When I bring that belt home, no one can say otherwise. I don't think it's been done at the same time in different organizations. So yeah, when I make that history, we can definitely claim that,
Absolutely. And last one for me, Gegard Mousasi has been around a long time, and a lot of us, came up watching him go through the sport. Was he someone that you were watching early on in your career? And is there any nerves going up against a veteran like that at this point?
No, I wasn't watching him, being honest. I wasn't watching him. I'm also watching the guys in the gym. I think the guys downstairs, they used to have on Cerrone and Silva, GSP. They used to have a few guys on down. I used to sit at the counter and watch some of the guys, and I was more locked onto Silva because of his type of flashy style. And yeah, I think more so Silva. And,
Thanks very much. Best of luck in the fight.
Thank you.
Mills?
Bumbleclaw, rude boy, everything Irie.
What happened?
How you doing, man? MMA Locker Room, part of Pub Sports Radio, Fabian. I spoke with you last time on Media Day, and we talked about your mind state when you go into there to fight. You say you go into a dark place, you turn on that switch. With that being said, you already put the lights out of Machida. If a win over Mousasi, you would really be right there, putting your name up there about putting out all the legendary fighters over here at Bellator. Does that ever implement into your game plan into this fight, or are you just going out there to win?
Not really in my game plan, but like I say, who can say they've got Machida and Mousasi on their record? And obviously I've already finished one. Whether or not I finish this one, we'll find out Friday, but I'm going to win, I'm going to win, whether or not it's a finish or it's a 5-round or whatever it is, but I'm going in there to push and give 100%, and I just believe my 100% beats his 100%.
Got it. And then last question for me. Mentality is always key. When you're going into fight day, is there anything that you do specifically? Do you listen to a certain song over and over? Do you get a phone call from one of your training partners, or is there a certain thing that you do continuously?
Chill. I just chill with my team. I probably beat my coach at checkers again. I'm out to school the boys at checkers again. And just chill, just have fun with my team, and that's it. We're not really the team that's locked in a room, in a dark room, and just no one speak to us. Now we know we've done the work, So fight week's about enjoying it with our team, making the weight, and then going out there and performing how we know we can.
We'll be joined by Brent Primus shortly. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. Santiago.
Hi, Brent. Thank you for the time. Brent, I remember that at first you weren't in the tournament and you were not happy with that decision, but somehow, the universe worked the situation out and here we are. When did you get to hear that Bellator needed an alternate? And did you have it in your mind that something could easily happen with one of the 8 participants and that you needed to stay ready regardless?
Yeah, exactly. I was definitely upset that I wasn't in their tournament, but at the same time, there's 8 guys in there, and there's a good chance that somebody could get injured. So I stayed focused, stayed in the gym, and prayed every single day that I would get in the tournament. And here I am, and I feel like this is where I should be.
So how did your preparation go for this fight against Mansour? And did you get a lot of help from your teammates for this, somewhat short notice opportunity?
Yeah, the camp went really good. No injuries. I trained really, really hard. I had guys help me a lot, starting on my back. I know he's got really good rear naked chokes. I've had some of the best black belts in Oregon, including Lucas Barbosa, who's one of the best jiu-jitsu players in the world, on my back trying to choke me. And I haven't gotten choked one time this whole camp. And I spent hours and hours with black belts on my back trying to get me. And I feel there's no way he's going to choke me. That's for damn sure. So, yeah, man, I felt great. It was a great camp. And we'll see what's going on Friday.
Yeah, my next question leans in a little bit into that because, what did you make of Barnaoui, his last performance against Piccoladi? And do you think he will also try to engage with that amount of grappling against you with your A-class jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I was impressed. Adam Piccoladi is no joke on the ground, and he swept him with that famous sweep of his from half guard and got to his back and choked him. But I'm a different breed, I feel, on the ground. I feel there's no way he's going to choke me. And I honestly don't think he's going to want to go to the ground with me, but we'll see. If he does, hey, that's cool. But I feel comfortable on my feet. I feel comfortable on the ground. So we'll see where this fight goes. But no matter what, I feel comfortable. I feel like I can beat him on the feet and on the ground.
You already fought for Bellator in Europe, in Birmingham. That was 2019. And I was actually there for the first time as a media member, Brent. The night was amazing. You had an amazing performance. Do you like fighting on this side of the ocean? And can we see you fight more often in Europe in the future?
Yeah. I like it. I love it over here. I cannot wait to eat all the food over here, and then we go to Italy after. But yeah, it's fun, man. One of the perks about fighting is traveling the world, and I love that. Obviously, I think the biggest thing is just the time zone and sleep and everything. But I slept a little bit better yesterday, and I still have 2 more nights to get used to this. So, yeah, I love it, man. But that's the only thing that I don't like is just the time zone change. But other than that, it's awesome. I love traveling.
Always a pleasure talking to you. Cannot wait to see you perform again. Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you.
Jay?
Hey, thanks very much. And Brent, first of all, I think a lot of people were surprised that you were left out of the Grand Prix initially. Is this just kind of the universe making things right, getting you in there?
Yeah, I feel like this is where I should have been in the first place. And yeah, I was not happy. I literally prayed every single day that something would happen and I'd get in here. And here I am.
It's, I don't want to ask you to overlook your opponent, but I guess I'm going to kind of do that anyways, because it's tough not to look at the potential outcome of this fight. You know that you're going to go into a title shot with a win. So with that in mind, you kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Are you already thinking of, hey, Usman's out there, or, are you able to shut that out?
I think about it, it's going to be awesome. But at the same time, I got a tough challenge ahead of me on Friday. Mansour is no joke. So I can't take him lightly and look past him. I'm going to go out there and fight like my life depends on it. And, man, I'm going to get that hand raised. And then, yeah, we'll see, man. Usman's next.
And last one for me, a lot is going to be made about Barnaoui's tournament experience, having won that Road FC title. But is that reading too much into it? Every fight's different and you're a different opponent.
Yeah, every fight's different, like you said. And I don't think he's fought anybody with my skill set. And this is different, man. This is Bellator. I think we're a lot better fighters than Road FC. And yeah, man, it's different, So if he just thinks that he's won Road FC or whatever, and he's going to come here and just smoke everybody in this tournament, I think he's going to have long nights. And, so yeah, you can't be overlooking anybody in this sport, man. Anything can happen.
Dylan?
Brent, thank you for the time. I wanted to talk a little bit about your energy, your excitement when the call came in to have you join as the alternate in this tournament.
Yeah, I was in my living room with my kids. I think I was eating, and I found out, and I was screaming, scared my kids, and called my manager, and yeah, man, I was so happy. I couldn't have been happier, and I still am happy, and I'm excited to be here and in the tournament, and yeah, I'm ecstatic for sure.
I think it's real cool to have you in this tournament. Last question from me: what can fans expect from Brent Primus come fight night?
And you're gonna see a great fight. I'm gonna be explosive, fast. I'm gonna go out there and be methodical and smart. And man, I'm getting that hand raised for sure.
Sunmid.
Hey Brent, Grand Prix, big opportunity for you. Do you like the fight, the fact that you're fighting in Bono's backyard?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've fought in many of my opponents' backyards and get booed, and I'm kind of used to that. It's no big deal. Just the only thing I don't really like is the time change and all that stuff. But I got some good sleep last night, which was amazing. And I still got 2 more nights of sleep. So we'll be good to go Friday. And yeah, I love traveling. That's one of the perks about fighting and route fighting. And I'm here, and I'm going to go to Italy after and get super big and fat and go squish my training partners when I get back.
Nice. And the last one from me. We know there are no easy fights in the Grand Prix and no easy fights in Bellator at all, but do you think you have one of the toughest routes to get that million with Usman next to the semis if you're successful on Friday?
Yeah, I think I am. There's different matchups and stuff. You know, I know Mansour has not fought anybody like me, and I bring some different skill sets to his game, you know, and I think it's going to be a tough fight for him. So I'm ready for that challenge. I know he's tough, but I'm ready for it. I've trained so hard and so smart for this fight, and I'm ready for this fight on Friday for sure.
Thank you, Brent.
Yeah.
We're now joined by Kane Mousah. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. Santiago.
Questions?
Hi, Kane.
Man.
Thank you for the time. As always, the company has opted to put you and Gouti on the main card. And that is for a good reason, because both of you are guaranteed action with a high pace. Do you agree that this fight of yours is a great way to open this electric Paris main card?
Well, first of all, let's just say that the whole of the card is electric. It's a card stacked from the first fight all the way through, with a lot of high level fighters on the card. And you know, stepping into the main card, you've got myself and my opponent. You know, there's no. Everybody knows exactly what's going to happen in that fight. We're both going to come to the center, and it's going to be the will of attrition. Who wants it more? And you know, it's going to be an electric fight. You know, my opponent's a front foot fighter. I'm a front foot fighter, and we both come to exchange blows. And you can already see. You can see by the performances that I've had in the past that I've always said that I deserve to be a main card fighter every time a show's on, because if you want someone to come and deliver action, and someone to come and fight hard, and someone to, you know, really demonstrate what real MMA fight ability is, then you know, I'm your man for it.
I totally agree with you, Kane. And just what you said, the prelims are so stacked, but they put your fight on the main card. Do you feel respected by Bellator for that?
Yeah, you know, I feel like it's a long time coming, if I'm honest. I know, obviously, my last performance against Georgie, you know, demanded this position, if I'm honest. At the end of the day, look, the results speak for themselves. So regardless if you're an exciting fighter or not, it's about the wins. And you know, I'm on a win, and I'm stepping into this fight against another game opponent. And yeah, but this is going to be a great fight. But you know, this is my time, and I'm here, and I'm about to make that statement known.
did you watch Gouti his last fight against Alfie Davis? And what did you make of his performance, Kane?
Look, it doesn't matter about his last fight. It's just about him as a fighter in general. You know, he's a game opponent. This is what I like. This is why the fight made so much sense to me. This is why I got excited about the fight. You know, the fight with Alfie came forward, and you know, but you know, it's easy to come forward on someone that works on the outside of the ring. You know, that's Alfie's game. My game's different to Alfie, so it's exciting to see how this one's gonna pan out.
Your last performance against Georgie was one of your best performances.
What do you think about that performance? Tell me, what do we think about it?
I thought it was great, Kane. And you know what I wanted to ask is, what is your biggest motivation to always be a dangerous rival in the Bellator cage?
The people I inspire, you know, the people who I work for, my family, and the people who I know support me, and the ones who are inspired by my actions and my work ethic, and obviously to represent the brand, which is my clothing brand, Bador, which represents be a dangerous rival. You know, I fight for a bigger purpose than just myself, and the purpose that I fight for is to represent people of struggle, people that have come from adversity, and people that fight for belief and to work hard for a better position in life, and to be able to provide a better existence for themselves and the people around them.
That's beautiful, Kane. And are you happy with the timeline of fights that you are getting from Bellator, or would you like to be more active and get more opportunities?
Of course. Look, every fighter wants to be as active as possible. If you don't want to be as active as possible, then I don't know what you're fighting for. For me, I'd like to be doing at least three fights a year. But, you know, obviously situations happen, things that are going on around certain things means that we're only fighting not as fluent as I'd like to be. But, you know, I have no doubt that Bellator have got some plans for us. You can see there's a lot of stuff acting with the business. The business is very active in terms of what's happening. We've got a stacked lightweight division, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. And this fight is going to put me amongst the top ranks. And yeah, next year should be a big year. Well, the end of this year should be a big year. What am I saying? Next year we're only midway. So yeah, this year should be a big year for me.
Bellator had you fought all over Europe. First it was Dublin, Milan, London, this time Paris, but how close do you think we are to seeing Bellator make their way into Manchester, Kane? And how much would this mean to you?
Listen, this is what needs to happen. And that's another reason as well, you know, when you talk about what you fight for, is every young fighter as a young fighter wants to, you know, put on a show in their hometown. And, you know, it's down for me to make that case, put that case forward and make it a purposeful case. So it's down to me to navigate that event, and that event needs to happen because, you know, with Kane the Danger Mousah aboard, it's going to be a big night.
Sunmate?
Yes, Kane, my brother. I can see that, you know, you've been grafted in this camp. You know, you've been out in Thailand and Phuket with the likes of Darren Till, our boy Brendan McNain, and obviously in God's own city in Manchester. How do you feel going into this one? What's the emotion?
You know, I'm just ready, bro. I'm in a position where mentally I'm just ready. I just know that this is my time, and this is the one. No matter what my opponent comes to do, this is my time. I've set the line. I've set the line in my mind. I've set the line by the work and the preparation, and I've demonstrated it to myself in the fact that I've given every single thing that I have to this fight. And you know, I'm not coming in here to play games, and I know my opponent knows I'm not coming to play games. I know. You know, he knows I'm a serious threat, and I'm very confident. I'm confident with him, with everything, with my strength, my power, my technique, my cardio, more than anything though, just my mindset and my will to win is at all-time high. So yeah, man, the work in Thailand, the work back at home when we got back to finish up, everything's been perfect.
Nice. And everyone's been talking about Team Renegade in Birmingham. We've talked to Tim Wilde, we've talked to Fabian Edwards, and kudos to them. But we should be talking about Manchester and Manchester top team. The amount of talent that's coming out of that camp is immense. The likes of yourself, the likes of the Grillin, Louis Lee Scott, Dakota. You know, what we recommend the top team. How important is that for your camp?
Yeah, the recognition is what is deserved. You know, you've already said it yourself. We've got Lerone Murphy as well, undefeated in the UFC. We've got Lewis McGrillen, just out come from Stormer in PFL, just stopped someone, undefeated. Knockouts. We've got Louis Lee Scott knockouts. We've got Ibrahim. We've got so many. We've got AB. You know, we've got. Listen, too many names to mention. I could be mentioning all the prospects for a while because we've got so many. But you know, shout out to Team Renegade as well, and shout out to everything them guys are doing. They are also my friends and I class them as my people. So it's good to see not just our team or not just there, but the UK as a whole. You know, starting to cement itself on the world stage. That you know the UK fighters are serious and people know that now. So you know, Manchester top team's just another piece of momentum to demonstrate to people how serious the UK fighters are.
Nice. The last one from me. You know, you're a busy man. We've got the new season of Badder just dropped recently. How would you balance everything? Obviously, you know, MMA is what you live for here, but how would you balance everything with all the stuff that you got going on?
Balance is about the team and the people around you. I can't do anything without a team, and I've got such a great team of people involved with my clothing brand. You know, I've got a solid team that work behind the scenes constantly with Badder. You know, I've got a solid team in terms of Manchester top team, in terms of the coaching and just the friendships and the partnerships that I have with everybody there. And then at home, I've got an amazing wife, amazing girlfriend, you know, and I've got an amazing mother and sister, and I've got an amazing family. So I get support from every single angle. So it's not necessarily just me. You know, I am the flagship. I am the person that does the work, but without everybody else to support me, you know, it wouldn't be possible.
Ken?
Hey, Kane. K. Williams for Kane Chronicles Media. What are some of the last minute adjustments? What are some of the last minute adjustments that you and your team have made leading up into the match on Friday? And also, how do you see the fight playing out in your personal opinion, man?
In terms of last minute adjustments, I just feel like it's the way we always do. I went out to Thailand, I did the volume of the work in Thailand. I came back, you know, I was doing specific work in Thailand anyway, regardless, based on my style, you know, to focus on what I do best and to focus on me delivering more of what I do. And then obviously we get home and, you know, you tweak up certain specific aspects based on the opponent that you're facing. And we worked on specifics and we've got them specifics down and we know exactly what we need to do when we get in there. Yeah, and look, we're ready, man. I don't say this lightly. I mean this with intent. I am ready. Look, a fight's a fight. A fight can go anyway, and we understand that. But in this one, when it comes down to the will and the desire and the moment is mine. And I truly believe that. And I feel like I'm going to go in there and I'm going to put something on this guy, whatever it is that's going to make him realize that it's my time and it's not his. So however that pans out is going to be, that's down to God. You know, only God knows how this one's going to pan out. But believe me, when I say I'm ready and I'm going in there to give everything I've got, just best believe this is always a main card worthy fight regardless. Yeah.
Santiago.
Hi, Stephen. Thank you for the time. First, it was Milan, then Dublin, not that long ago, and now it's Paris. This will be your third fight for Bellator in just 6 months' time. It's not easy to get this many fights, but they're giving it to you. Do you appreciate it that they are featuring you this often in such a short period?
Yeah, man, I do appreciate it. It's wild. It's hard. It's fast. I do appreciate it. Keep me busy, and yeah, I do really appreciate it. It's cool, man.
Nicolo Zolli has been fighting in Bellator since 2019, but he's still young and he only fights, once a year. This is a step up, though, compared to your previous two opponents, I think. What do you make of Zolli as an opponent?
I don't give a monkeys. I don't give a rat's ass about Zolli. I don't give nothing. He could fight once every 5 years. I don't care. I appreciate he's a good fighter, but I couldn't give a rat's ass about Zolli. I'm gonna smash him Friday night. Smash. Round 1, 2, round 3, smash. Every round, smash. That's what I think about that.
So this will be your third fight in Bellator on Friday. Seems like a new contract could be coming up soon. Are you happy with the promotion? Would you like to stay here for the future?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I love Bellator. They always look after me. I'd love to sign a new contract with them. Yeah, definitely.
Your nickname is the Hillbilly Hammer, and I absolutely like that name. What is the story behind your nickname, Stephen?
An old boxing coach when I was a kid called me the Hillbilly. And then a few years later, when I was doing MMA, someone called me the Hillbilly Hammer, and it sort of stuck. And that's it, really.
Cannot wait to see you perform again. Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sunmade.
Yes, Stephen, my guy, he's quite MMA here. 7-0, 2 wins in Bellator. Your last fight was a proper impressive submission win in a bouncing Dublin crowd. How's the preparation gone for this one?
Oh, great, man. Yeah, I feel like I've leveled up again in this camp. Yeah, everything's good. I just can't wait until Friday now. Show everyone a new set of skills and show everybody what's up.
Nice. And how influential is it training with Alex Salisbury down at Nova BJJ?
Oh, it's awful. No, I'm joking. It's really good. Really good. No, can't complain. Stud grapplers, all in there. There's 50 of them in the room. They're all trying to take your back or take your feet off, They're really good. It's a tough place. But, you find diamonds in the rough, or so they say.
Nice. And do you have a plan, like a roadmap to becoming a Bellator ranked fighter?
Yeah, of course. That's always the goal, to step up every fight and one day fight a ranked guy and get in the ranks myself, and then one day take the belt home to the seaside home of Hastings.
Nice. And apologies we didn't get a chance to come down in person for your fight camp, but all the best for Friday, Stephen. No doubt we'll be chatting after the fight.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Ken?
Hey, Stephen. Kay Williams for Kane Chronicles Media. You seem pretty laid back. Seems as though you're at a pretty comfortable pace leading up into this fight. Let's talk about the mental preparation leading up into Friday's match.
Yeah, it's a good question. I do feel laid back. Just another fight to me. Another tough guy. I fought tough guys before. I've trained with tough guys. It's just about getting in there and composing myself and working up to my game plan and my skill set, and physically, mentally, or whatever. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You have to take me out on the stretcher once I'm hydrated and back to a big hillbilly weight. You got to drag me out of the cage without the win.
Thank you.
Mills?
Hey, what's going on, Stephen? It's MMA Locker Room, part of Puff Sports Radio. How you doing today?
How you doing, man? You okay?
I'm doing great, man. Can't complain, man. Like the shades that you got on, those designer, or those just anything you got on?
Gucci, baby.
Oh, you already know. So we feeling Gucci today. Out of your 7 wins, you got 6 of them by finishes. You done had a man retire in the corner against you. You done won by rear naked choke, won by a knockout. How do you see this fight taking place this Friday?
I see this one for some reason. A bit of a trench warfare, trench battle. He's a bit taller than me. He thinks he's the man. He's a bit flashy. I'm gonna have to take this guy out. This guy won't quit. So I see this being a slugfest. Me coming out on top.
Like it. And then just to follow up with it being 2023, I mean, nicknames are real prevalent right now. If you could have a nickname out there, what would it be? You know, I don't see anything on the nickname with the Stephen Hill.
I've already got one, bro. It's the Hillbilly Hammer.
Oh man, my bad about that one, man. See, I'm still just catching up on everything, man. The Hillbilly Hammer, right?
Hillbilly Hammer, baby. Chips and gravy.
I like it, man. Can't wait to see you put out a performance this Friday. It's always something to see when you got the first fighter on there doing media. So I really think that the Bellator promotion is trying to push you. So can't wait to see the show this Friday.
I'm coming, brother. Undefeated Friday night.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Santiago.
Hi, Douglas. Thank you for the time as always. Is this your first time fighting in Paris? And how are you experiencing your time in Paris thus far?
How's it going, man? No, not my first time here. First time fighting here. So far, so good, man. Great weather. You know, had to walk around a little bit, you know, in the city, you know, beautiful city. So, yeah, making the most of it is going to be good.
So what do you make of Costello van Steenis? He's, of course, ranked. He used to be ranked even higher, but, you know, at least you can make your middleweight debut against a ranked opponent. What was your first reaction when Bellator offered you this fight?
I mean, you know me, man. I never say no. You know, I needed a fight. They gave me him. I said yes. His game, man, he's very, you know, explosive. He's hungry. You know, he's a guy that wants to make his name, you know, in this division, this, you know, in this promotion. So he's just another tough, hungry fighter. You know what I mean? He's got great training partners. I know his game. You know, I definitely got to be on top of my game, you know, for this fight.
So in his last fight, Costello van Steenis had a couple great leg kicks, which ultimately won him the fight in the second. You are, of course, notorious for your kicks as well. Douglas, do you think this is going to be a kicking party?
Well, we'll see. You never know until the fight starts. You know, if I see it, I'm throwing. You know, I know he's gonna throw the same thing. You know, he throws a lot of kicks, a lot of punches. So it's definitely a fight that should be very explosive. You know, let's see how it's gonna go down. You know what I mean? I'm ready to throw down. So let's see.
You are in a big fight against a ranked opponent, but the most attention will go to you moving up in weight, Douglas. Did you wish that you maybe would have moved up a bit earlier? And the reason that I'm asking that is you did great in your middleweight title fight with Mousasi.
Yeah, I mean, in my whole career, I've always thought, middleweight would be the place for me. I've always struggled a lot, to make 170, to make the welterweight, and I think this is good. I feel good right now. I think, I don't think I ever bid the biggest middleweight. I'll bid on the smaller size, but at least feel healthier. That's what I want. The last time that I missed weight, man, I was like, man, this can't happen. You cannot miss weight. So I was very upset, with myself on that, on the last fight. So I think this is gonna be good. Like I said, I had a great camp. I was definitely feel a lot healthier. You know what I mean? I don't have to cut a ton of weight like I usually do. So I think it's gonna be good for me.
Yeah, you look so much happier and healthier, Douglas. And did you bring your brother to Paris as well, Douglas? And is he already cooking something delicious for after the weighing?
You know it, man. You know it. He's always got the cooking skills. So he's here, and Jukan is here. So yeah, the whole team is here with me, man. We're gonna do this together as always.
I'm gonna be there on Friday, Douglas. Cannot wait to see you perform again. Good luck on fight night, sir.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.
Dylan?
Hey, Douglas, thank you for the time, man. How was the training camp and how is everything leading up until this week and fight night in general?
How's it going, man? Man, it was good, man. Great training camp and healthier, eating a lot more, focusing just on training, instead of cutting the weight. So that'll be a huge help. You know what I mean? But I feel good, man. Mentally, physically, everything is on point. And just ready to, cut this, the weight that's left for tomorrow morning and then, go to war on Friday.
And last question from me. Have you done any assessments on your opponent? And if so, what do you think of him as a fighter?
Yeah, I mean, I look, a few fights. I'm not a guy that, studies a lot of my opponents. I don't like to keep watching a lot of videos on them when I fight them. But I'm a little bit familiar with him. He's very, very aggressive, man. He's powerful, a big guy. You know what I mean? So, I did everything I could to get ready for him. The coaches study him more. We worked around, on what he's good at. And man, it's just another great, tough, hungry opponent. There's no easy fights. Never been an easy fight. So it's just another one of those.
Ken?
Hey, Lima. K. Williams for Kane Chronicles Media. Your last 4 fights have resulted in some unfortunate losses. How do you approach your next fight not being distracted by those losses?
Man, for me, it's like I said, it's part of the game, man. We play a very tough sport, and everybody that I fight, everybody's good. I've been fighting the number 1, number 2 guys always. I think the main thing is with myself. A lot of times, man, I stepped in there and didn't feel like myself. I don't know why. It's just camp. Everything was great, but it just didn't click. So that's the main thing I gotta get ready for, man. Just be there, ready to fight. Forget about everything else. I'm not even thinking about those losses now. For me, it's in the past. I'm just looking forward to this fight. But the main thing is just to be on my A game, and that's what matters. That's what counts. That's when I perform the best.
And also, you talked a little bit about your diet and you being able to eat a lot more, being comfortable. Let's talk about your diet regimen leading up to this fight. What did you switch out? What did you add?
Oh man, like the diet's pretty much the same. I just can eat more. Of course, I stay away from the sweets, the fried stuff. I just eat healthy. Rice, beans, the regular meat, vegetables. But I'm able to input a lot more food. And that helps with the training camp. Because man, as much as we train, eating a little bit of food, that's hard. That's hard for me. That's hard for my body. And that's how sometimes I felt, cutting down to 170. But at middleweight, I don't have to think about that. I just can, train as hard as I can, eat, recover, and do it all over again. And that was the main difference for me, you know what I mean, at this middleweight training camp.
Best wishes on Friday.
Thank you, bud. All right.
we will be joined by Gegard Mousasi. Please raise your hands if you have any. Santiago.
Hi, Gegard. It's your old pal Santiago. Thank you for the time. Did you bring the whole team Mousasi squad with you to Paris?
Yeah, everyone is here. Costello is here so we're with a lot of friends. Everyone is coming in these couple days. Friday, a lot of them will come. Today came. Thursday, they're gonna come. So looking forward to that.
Your teammate Costello van Steenis already fought against Fabian, and he did pretty good against him. Did Costello help you prepare for your fight against Fabian? And what did you focus on the most during this camp? Because against Van der Voort and Eblen, you did a lot of wrestling, you told me, but I can imagine that this was somewhat different for Edwards.
Yeah, well, I'll focus on wrestling and stand up. I think he warned me about the dangers, like his left hand is he able to punch from very far distance when you think you're not in danger. He gave me some advices, and yeah, we see how the fight goes. Every fight is different, and Costello was actually injured in that fight, so I think I should be able to do a lot better.
You kept saying yesterday at the presser that you want one more fight after this one against Edwards. Why one more fight? What is going to happen after that, Gegard?
I don't know. Probably it's going to be the last.
That makes me very sad. But would your Bellator stint feel incomplete without you fighting for a title in beautiful Amsterdam City? Is fighting in Holland something that you want to achieve before you ride off into the sunset, Gegard?
Always, if they come to Amsterdam, I would fight one more. But it's up to the government. Amsterdam is a little bit difficult. They're left-wing media. Don't let people fight there. I mean, left politicians.
Sure, let's not talk about the Dutch government, Gegard,
right.
But the Netherlands has a new TV deal with Videoland starting this event, Gegard. And of course, it's you who is going to kick off this amazing deal for the country of Holland. Do you think this can also help with bringing Bellator to the Netherlands at some point? Because this has to happen, right, Gegard?
Well, I think Bellator can easily come to Holland. Only they want to go to Amsterdam. And I think it's going to work out eventually. It's just, it takes a little bit more time. And but I don't know. They were very close last time. So it's all about timing, I think. And eventually it will happen, I think.
Gegard, we spoke to each other before your Eblen fight, and then you said I was a little bit fat, so the weight cut was a little bit tougher. Did you take some better preparations this time? Because you look healthier, you look happy, you know?
Yeah, weight cut is much easier. I'm a lot lighter this time. I have 3.5 kilos to go. I don't think I don't even need a sauna. Last time, for the last 200 gram, I had to take a dumping bag, what is it, garbage bag, took it out last minute. I was running before the weigh-in, so I was a little bit hectic and I didn't want that. So I came very prepared this time.
So Bellator president Scott Coker always talks highly about you. You are one of his biggest signings, which, created Bellator the way that it is today, which is a high-level MMA organization. How has your, relationship with Scott Coker been, Gegard? Do you always feel respected here at Bellator?
Yeah, very much. I think I had a relationship with Scott from Strikeforce. I think Bellator now, I don't know if, I'm one of the guys, but I think now Bellator has one of the best fighters in the world. From lightweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, welterweight. all guys that can compete and beat UFC champions. I think the level of Bellator has never been so high. I believe. So the competition is a lot more tougher also.
Yeah, you're always so humble, but I can guarantee you, Gegard, in 2017, when Scott Coker signed you, you were the biggest signing ever for the company. Gegard, I'm going to be in the arena on Friday. Cannot wait to see you perform again. Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Bye-bye.
Dylan?
Gegard, thank you for the time. Dylan Napoleon, New England MMA here. Wanted to talk a little bit about this, big stage, another main event. Gegard, you're one of the guys headlining this card. What's it mean to you to be one of those guys, on such a big card in the main event in Paris?
Yeah, it means a lot. I think fighting in France, in Paris, MMA wasn't legal for a long time here. So every time I get the main event, it's they trust. I see the trust they have in me, and also coming off a loss, and a lot of friends are coming. So I'm happy. I'm happy to be able to fight in Paris in the main card, of course.
Awesome. And I know you spoke a little bit about the actual training camp a little bit earlier, but who were you able to work with and prepare in this past training camp?
Well, I trained with my friend Yusri, is a Glory champion 3-time. He trained also with Alex Pereira for his fight 2-time when he fought Isa Adesanya, Costello, same team, I just brought in Yusri for the stand-up. He switched to MMA, so he's a guy to watch out for. So,
I actually live in Connecticut, and I was able to meet Yusri at Glover's gym when Alex was preparing for Izzy, the first fight. And great guy. What has he been able to do and help you with preparing wise?
Yeah, technical stuff. Countering, how to close distance. Still always something to learn. Especially him being a high-level striker, and he's a lot taller. It's a little bit more difficult. So I think I will have less problem with the distance in the fight because of how tall he is.
And the last one for me, Gegard, is, like we said, big stage, big lights. What can fans expect from you come Friday night?
I just have to have the mentality of going into the fight and give just let it go and just fight. That's the plan. I mean, game plan is to fight. Last fight, he caught me. It wasn't like I didn't want to fight, but he caught me in the first round, Johnny Eblin, and then the fight went fucked up after that. So, so we're just gonna go and put the pressure on it.
Sunmade.
Hey, Gegard. And just a couple of questions for myself. Do you think the time away from the cage has been good for you? I think you've not fought in just under a year now. It's been good for you to rethink and reignite yourself for this upcoming fight.
Yeah, I couldn't fight anyway. They didn't give me any fight, so I think no, not really, because I'm not getting younger. I'm still healthy, so I want to keep busy. And but I think after a loss, you want to get the win early, so you leave that negativity behind you. So I rather had it sooner, and then after a win, you're in a flow again. I rather had it sooner, but it doesn't matter.
And in the pre-fight press conference yesterday, you said that you were glad that Eblin is still the champion. He said he's a good champion. Is there specifics behind that, or was it just for the chance of potential redemption, one more fight?
No, I think he was more hungry. He was better prepared. The fight after meet against Tokov, he did pretty well also. So he showed he's someone to be recognized and not take lightly. He's a serious fighter, and he's a champion for a reason. So, first Eblin, Edwards, and then we go for him for another shot.
Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Ken?
Hey, Mousasi, K. Williams for Kane Chronicles Media. You were on a 4-fight winning streak before being defeated by a tough Johnny Eblen, who sits at the top of the middleweight division. Do you feel as though this next fight against Edwards is going to be an easier fight?
You never know if it's going to be an easier fight. I mean, a lot changed in 10 months or 11. You never know a fight if it's going to be easy, but I think Johnny Eblen is a better fighter. But everyone at this level possesses of different weapons, different tactics. So it's all comes to how the fight, who implements his fight game. So I don't know if it's going to be easier, but I think Johnny Eblen is a better fighter.
And one last question. How important has family and friend support been leading up into this fight on Friday?
Always important. I mean, I live with my family. I train with my family and friends. I mean, it's a team effort at the end of the day. And then in the case, you have to do it yourself. But yeah, I don't know if I would ever be come so far without the support, you know. So yeah.
Mills?
Hey, how's it going, Gegard? MMA Locker Room, part of Pub Sports Radio. Just got a few.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Just got a few things I wanted to talk to you about. It seems like in the mixed martial arts sport, you know, some fighters get attention by maybe dyeing their hair rainbow colors and, you know, talking bad about their opponents and stuff like that, and getting big on social media platforms. In this sport, you didn't need any of that, and you're right back here at the top of the sport. How does it feel to actually have your skills that you actually harness from the ground up to actually speak for your skills itself?
Yeah, I think one thing about America is as long as you're a good fighter, eventually you will get there. You know, I mean, you see Manny Pacquiao coming from Philippines. He became a superstar in US. I mean, I wasn't a big trash talker, so it took me longer to get some recognition. But at the end of the day, people recognize if your resume is good, you're going to get there eventually. So, yeah.
Got it. And just to follow up on that, speaking about resumes being good, I mean, you fought for all the promotions already, so this is why I'm going to ask that question. There's a question being thrown around right now that the Bellator champions are better than the UFC champions right now present. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I can definitely see some of them beating the champions now. Definitely. I mean, welterweight to middleweight, light heavyweight, any of them. Heavyweight, heavyweight a little bit more difficult. Who's the heavyweight champ now? Oh, heavyweight maybe not. John Jones is always a tougher competition. But I think below heavyweight, I would give everyone a good chance of winning. You know, I mean, it's 50-50. I don't know. You know, you just know when they fight, but UFC is never gonna do that.
Got it. Just want to give you your flowers right now, man. I loved watching all your fights and everything. Love talking to you on the media days. For the people that don't know, if you want to watch a real mixed martial artist, watch Gegard Mousasi fights.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Gegard.
No problem. Yes.
Santiago?
Hi, Denise. It's your old pal, Santiago. Always nice to talk to you during fight week. Did you bring your whole Amsterdam squad with you to Paris?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, it's always nice to hear you. And yeah, like you said, my whole squad is with me.
Same, always nice to hear from you as well. And Denise, I'm going to ask you about your fight with Paula in a second. But first, I wanted to ask you about something you most recently did in the west side of Amsterdam because you supported a project there to encourage young adult females to work out more. Why was this important for you?
Well, I was also a young girl, and like what martial arts did for me as a young woman was really like I cannot even describe that in words, and that made me the woman that I am today. And for me, like besides my fight career, for me it's really important that I want to show all the girls in all over the world, and now it was girls, but I also talk about boys at that age that if you like train your mind, train your body, and mix that with martial arts, that you can become a champion in everything that you can do. So that's my also a big goal for me, that besides my fight career, I want to inspire everyone in this world that martial arts is really the thing to do.
Because we are not taught any of that in school, right?
No, no. Like when I was younger and I say that I did judo, then everyone is looking at me, yeah, but that's for guys, that's for boys, or that's, like that was not like the thing that girls can do. But now I want to show that when I did start with judo, that look at the woman I am today and fighting at the biggest event, the biggest martial arts events in the world, and still doing what I love to do. So that's what I also want to inspire young people, that like go after it. And I know for sure that everyone who's entering that dojo, that you gonna fall in love.
Yeah, I love to see you give back to the city. But back to your fight, because you are going to fight Paula Cristina, who's going to make her Bellator debut. And you already have some history with her when you went to Brazil, right? And just in general, what do you make of her as an opponent?
She's a strong opponent. I already like trained with her in Brazil, so that cannot be a coincidence. And like she's the judo champion of Brazil, so she's a really good opponent. But I know that when I'm in my best, like my straight, that she have no chance against me. And this Friday I want to show everyone that I want to make a statement. Like the last couple of Bellator fights, it wasn't my best, but now I'm back, and I'm back to win the title the title fight. So like this Friday is for me really important. And besides, I'm fighting Paulina or someone else. It's just that this Friday is a statement for me. I'm back.
Do you remember your own Bellator debut, Denise? And the reason that I'm asking is, were you nervous back then? And do you think Paula is also going to be a little bit nervous for her first time under the bright lights?
I think if you're like for every fighter, fighting for Bellator is just already an accomplishment, because Bellator is the biggest fighting organization all over the world. So for any fighter, this is just a big opportunity. So I know for sure that she has some nerves, but sometimes nerves can make you stronger or can make you weaker. But I'm expecting to fighting the best version of Paula Cristina this Friday. So if she have nerves or not, that's not my case. I'm just focusing on my goal and on my fight, and that's going to be this Friday.
Dylan?
Hi, Denise. Thank you for the time. Dylan Napoleon with New England MMA here. I wanted to ask you this. What does it mean to be one of the fighters selected by Bellator to travel out to Paris and compete on this card?
It's just like, in one word, amazing. Like when I get the call to fight on this card in Paris and look at the fight card, is just amazing. And to be a part of that is just for me like already an accomplishment. And like everything I do with Bellator, it's always fun. It feels like going back to family, and that's what this organization feels like. So if Bellator fighting all over the world in every country, but just when you get the call that you have a fight, it's already like going, okay, yes, I'm excited for this. And besides that, fighting on this card, fighting with two Dutchmen, two very strong Dutchmen, that's for me also like a dream come true.
That's awesome to hear. And also, what's been going through your head these past couple of weeks? How is the preparation, and ultimately, who were you able to work with to help you prepare for this fight?
Well, I make a switch in team, so now I have a little adjustment in my team. I have a really good wrestle coach because in my last couple of fights, I just missing some spicy that to have to add on it to make my fight game a little bit more stronger. And I knew that I now have that. And the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, I'm working really, really hard. And I'm working with my wrestler coach, Kocha. I'm working with my husband, Hesty. And I also went to America, to American Top Team to train with Johanna Jan Daytrek. She's also a really good friend of mine. And she helped me also really a lot with my preparations and my mental care. So yeah, I have a really strong team of only champions, and that's going to make me a champion too.
Ken?
Hey, Denise, K. Williams for Kane Chronicles Media. Now, your career has been a roller coaster of wins. It's also been a roller coaster of losses. Going into the next fight, what are some of the things that you've done to implement and elevate your game that will ensure a win on Friday?
It's been really like a crazy roller coaster. And I watched my fights, and every time I missed, just like that we discussed in the team, a little bit of spice. And that spice I was missing, now I found it. I found it again. And it's always like my fight when I lost is just like one thing that I missed. And now I found that one thing that I missed. And with that thing that I train and all those weeks of training, I work really hard on it. I know that that's going to be a better version of Miss Dynamite this Friday.
And you also mentioned that you switched up a couple things in training camp. Do you feel as though that will be advantageous to be able to compete on Friday?
Yes, for sure, for sure. Like this camp and with the new trainer I have, with my new with Kocha, he's a really good wrestler. He's also he was in the game for Olympic wrestling in Holland, and he is like he says things to me that I was searching for all those time, and I think with his adjustment, with his sauce, that my game would be a little bit more spicy, a little bit more MMA complete.
Sunmid?
Hey, Denise. We know Paula's a great fighter, and she's only got one loss in her record. Do you think that the reason that she likes stand-up will go into your favor? Because obviously you have a lot of experience on the feet with your kickboxing record, etc.
This is something like not one of a kind, because I already spar with her. And with sparring, I know for sure that she felt my power. And that's why I know that I know for sure that she want to take me down. But I'm prepared for everything. And like I said, with the spice I have right now, I feel like I'm more complete fighter and still growing and still learning in this MMA dream of mine. But I know that the best version of Miss Dynamite will end up this Friday.
Nice. And for your walkout song, will you be coming out to Dynamite by Miss Dynamite?
No, my walkout song will be Queen. We are the champions, because we are.
Nice. All the best for Friday.
Thank you.
Mills?
How's it going, Denise? Part of this MMA locker room, part of Pub Sports Radio. How are you doing today?
I'm really, really good. I'm really enjoying Paris. I'm really happy to be with the Bellator crew again. And like I said, I'm in really a good vibe right now.
Yeah, it's always good talking to you. You always got the good spirits and the good smiles and the good vibes. So I hear you talking a lot about, spice and, your coach has the new sauce. So it seems like, you guys have a whole new game plan that you guys are trying to implement. And it seems like it's going to work out because when you came into Bellator, you were explosive. I mean, wins by armbar, anaconda, ground and pound, left hook. And it seems like that dynamite's going to get brought back out in this fight to blow up.
Totally true. Totally true. And that's the Miss Dynamite. And, like I found it. I found that spice. And exactly that spice is going to bring me another win. And now with another big victory. So I'm in the winning streak again. I am.
And I just want to speak on the winning streak because a lot of the MMA community felt that you actually won your last fight against Laura. Did you actually believe that you won that fight too? Or was it a little bit easier to deal with the loss, feeling that you actually, did maybe pull away the win? Because a lot of people in the MMA community thought you won that one.
Yes, like when I saw the fight again and afterwards, I thought also that I won. But like I think in with all my fights, I just want to make a statement that there is no clue that she can win, and that's my part of my fight, and that's my goal, that I leave no clue to the judges. So when I look at back that fight, of course, I can also have the win on my side, but now I know that, like with the extra dynamite, that extra spice, I have to make no clue to the judges that it can be a split decision, that all the winners is in my favor. So that's my part, and that's also my goal for this Friday. Leave it not to the judges.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will send the link for the post-fight interviews soon. Thank you.